Hello everyone, I'm Greg Luke, thank you for joining me, and welcome back to episode 137 of Factorio with the C-Block mod. And in the last episode I accidentally left my microphone muted after coughing a bit, so sorry about that, but can't do anything about that now. And for this episode we are going to focus, or start focusing, I'm sure this will take 10 episodes or more, but working on military science. I believe we just made sure that our coppery waste byproduct is done. We didn't entirely finish this. We should get that done and then actually merge this into our core plate. So let's start with that, just to be sure. We were, however, waiting on more casting machines. I guess that's not a problem anymore. I only needed 8 more, so let's do that. And yeah, we have finally finished blue science, so we can start researching some of the stuff for this. I'm not sure what we really need anymore. We have gotten better robots already. Steel axe is always nice. Just faster removal of stuff. Good. So now we should be able to handle a full belt of coppery waste byproducts, which is good. And we have this stuff, and we need to actually prioritize this as input. We have a setup down here that we really do not need to prioritize. This needs to work though. So how do we prioritize both this and the other one? I guess we could just not merge these two and then into the non-prioritized one here and then balance them afterwards. Or we could just do this, I guess. Oh, I'm on the map. I can't do this. Input priority left. Because this will have priority from the other setup. And then they're just merged with priority, of course. That should be fine. Good. So that's this all done, I think. I hope. We shall see. Also, we might need to fix some bottlenecks with blue science at some point. But yeah, let's just at least get started with this stuff. I think we need to start with some Invar or similar, though. We have brass and we have steel and we have not a lot of other stuff. Actually, I just want to do this from the top because I'm not entirely sure if I've deleted stuff that we needed here. So let's start with this. That by itself needs Invar. So I guess we're putting this in its own thing. Steel and nickel ingots. We will expand on those when we get to it, I think. This will also be its own thing. These all need to go back, that's fine. We have this, we do not have this. So yeah, carbon into all of those. And that's not a lot of machines, so that's all fine. So, to be honest, this doesn't look too bad. Let's remove this. We need Invar, of course, that's fine. Oh, wait, we haven't taken care of this, but that's just more Invar. And more brass. Again, fine, good. So maybe we should just start with these. We have a setup already for steel. Could just remove the casting machines from that to get this. And I guess we don't have iron ingots on the resource bus, do we? We have tin and lead and copper in some places. But I don't really want, more than 2 belts of iron ingots anyway, so we will make these dedicated to this. Also, we might need more invar than this, but this already seems like a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. Maybe we should have a look at Invar and what else we need this stuff for. I mean, we already almost need a full build for this. But hopefully it's not needed for a lot of other stuff. Only for basically one-time things. This, of course, will need some for a long time, but yeah. We don't need to mass produce anything really using this other than just science. And science will most of the time probably be idle anyway. So yeah, we're going to make one full build of this, if possible. So let's put this into its own thing and say unlink and 15. So question is if we should start doing more advanced stuff. Because that's only 26 ore per second as opposed to 40 ore per second. So it would obviously be nice with less ore needed. And it's only adding charcoal, which we already make for some of this stuff. So let's try that, why don't we? So then we need less than a full build of each of these, which is nice. Good, let's aim towards that. We also need nickel, which might be a bigger problem. Because I only think we have this as a byproduct so far. Yeah, because we need crystal catalysts. We do now have crystal slurry available though. Somewhere, right here. And that is what we needed to make crystal catalysts, right? Yes, indeed. So that is also something we should be doing. And we should actually be doing that in its own block. Because we need that for a lot of stuff. Unlink 15, sure. Out of just curiosity, what is it we get from ceramic filters that we don't get from normal filters? If we clean these, what does it take to... Nothing really, we just put in purified water. Oh yeah, so we put in charcoal for the coal filters, but these wouldn't require any input. They just need to be washed. So yeah, that would obviously be awesome. We need alumina to make them, but we do already have alumina, right? Somewhere around here. Yes, at least we're making it. So can we get ceramic filters? Not ceramics, but ceramic filters. That seems to be quite far away, but we can work our way there now. Just need all of this stuff. So yeah, maybe we should work towards that after this. I think this is very limited by blue science currently, right? So already we're talking about fixing bottlenecks because this is obviously very slow. What are we going to focus on first? If we focus on the blue science bottleneck, we can work on this stuff and actually get ceramic filters while working on it, at least potentially. Or we could do this first and then fix blue science and then just use coal filters instead. We get 102 sulfuric wastewater from this. Do we get more from the coal filters? We do. So maybe this is actually better. Would we rather spend some more coal or wooden bricks, whatever they're called, to get more sulfuric wastewater? It seems weird, but I actually think we have enough wastewater at this point. We have a full pipe of sulfuric acid. We do not have a full pipe of this stuff, but maybe we're actually getting rid of that somewhere. Or we're just using it for oil and stuff. Putting it in two places? No. This is sulfuric acid out. Are we clarifying this anywhere? I don't think so, so we would need to do that at some point anyway. But honestly, it just makes everything simpler if we don't have to bring in fuel for everything. It would also make all of these old setups simpler, since we wouldn't need this in. We would just need purified water. Of course, that's its own complication. Unless I'm mistaken. No, we did need purified water for the ceramic filters. Yes. I'm not actually sure what I would rather have then. Purified water is obviously free. Also, we already have purified water right here. And that we should have some extra of that. Since we are burning these when we have too much of it anyway. So yeah, we should really get everything over to ceramic filters as soon as possible. First, let's focus on fixing blue science, if possible. We might just have shortages of something like glass. That at least is very low. So yeah. We use it both for this femto laser emitter and for the foci. And is that really just what we need? Because those both go into this. At least for now, that is the shortage. The laser flash fuel might also become a shortage at some point, but it isn't at the moment. So let's focus on glass. Yes, let's do it. And let's do it all over again. Glass. So this is what we're currently doing. Maybe we should do some molten stuff though. Since we now need it for science actually, instead of just for our arboretums. Hopefully this is not too bad. And it really isn't. We need carbon. If we wanted 15 of these per second, that would be quite a lot of powder mixers. What if we had tier 2 of those? It would be 54, that's still a lot. Do we have tier 2 of those? Not yet. Powder mixer. If we just research this, we can make it though. Is this needed for ceramics anyway? I'm not sure. Yes, it is. So it would be nice to reduce the amount of powder mixers needed. But I guess we can just design with this in mind and then work towards it as the first thing. Sure. We do need 20 silicon though, and this requires crystal catalysts. So maybe we should just get crystal catalysts done first. Then we don't need to rely on silicon as a byproduct of anything. Yeah, it's a circle. One thing requires another. Always. Can we convert this to its own production block? I don't think so. Let's do it manually then. Because this is not really that related to science more than anything else. These. And we want 50, not 115, just 15. And we want ceramics eventually. So we need to design for that. Or should we just design with charcoal filters to begin with? Also, this requires tier 2 filtration units. And I guess we just get those here as well, yes. So I think we're just designing this with charcoal filters, at least to begin with. And that's fine. We need to produce this, we already have this. This needs to be done as always. This is not a lot of machines, to be honest. So it's gonna be a small, or relatively small build. And I think that can handle a lot more slurry than we're currently producing, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Do we still have our geoprocessing? So this stuff can output 50 every 3 seconds with the crafting speed of 2.25. Let's just call it 50 per second. Multiplied by 12, that's 600 per second. So we can actually produce a lot more with this one setup than we can use here, but that's fine, we're just clarifying any extras. We could make something to make more than a belt of this though per second if we wanted to. But I think we would rather just duplicate our setup then. Yeah. Let's start from the end and just make 4 of these. Sure, we are trying to stick to the same sort of setup as always. So we have that. And as always, as we have begun to do, let's just do something that's as easy as possible for robots to build. So reducing the amount of belts or pipes just helps in general. That's taken care of. Then we need 8 of these. And we need this first. So I guess we should just... It can be done in one machine, but I think we're still doing it in 2. Yeah, it just makes it symmetrical and easy to copy paste, I guess. Just move this down a bit. Since we're doing all of this underground, we should really utilize that and output to, well, at 90 degrees. That makes everything one tile less wide, narrower, if that's a word. And that's not supposed to be there, and this is supposed to go there. And the input is supposed to be underground as well. We will fix that at some point, I think. Or maybe just do it now. I hate doing underground belts backwards. I guess it isn't too bad here. Okay. Something like that. We input charcoal, which I didn't copy for some reason. And then we input and output the filters. I guess we are just going to optimize a little bit on this layout, just making it a little bit more compact, since we have the possibility for that. And we have the incoming on the outside and then this on the inside. We want something like that. There's no point in undergrounding this. So this is just a little bit more compact than this was, because we moved this in. Oh, the small things. And we need to transfer power somehow. How are we going to do that? We'll figure that out later, I think. Now, these 8 is needed next, I guess. Yep. And they will have 2 liquid inputs and 2 liquid outputs. And we need to actually get the liquid input in. So this stuff. And then the output needs to go in the middle for this. And the other output needs to go out somehow. Unless we clarify it, but I don't want to clarify. So usually we go next to these. Could do that here as well. Could also move this one tile apart. Let's just try that to begin with. Just to make everything a little bit more symmetrical. And yes. Then we do this with charcoal filters. We want this to go in the middle if possible, but we can't do that. So it was just wider here before. Which means we don't really get anything out of this size reduction if we moved these further apart. But do this. And these will just stay because they have their own recipients. I just don't like the asymmetry of this. As always, apparently symmetry is the most important thing in my life. So we would need to have these 5 tiles apart if we wanted to be somewhat symmetrical. Pipes will never be symmetrical anyway. But then we could just output this like this. But the inputs for this would suck. Do we have these one tile apart just for belt space? No, for these. If we move them too close together, we can't have underground belts in between. So maybe that's a bad idea. Doesn't really affect this. Would it affect this in some way? It doesn't make it prettier. Spending too much time on this. Also, we need to do research, but well, Blue Science is just backing up We need to work towards something that was before ceramics. And that thing was powder mixer 2s, of course. So we do this. Why do I have such a hard time deciding on this? We will just have to go with something a little wider. Is this actually wider than this setup though? It is one tile wider. Do we want to go one tile wider for symmetry in the end here? Or running this along the side? Does the extra tile in the middle help anywhere else? I'm not entirely sure. But the extra tile here doesn't really matter, because this will be 2 tiles wider. I didn't mean to actually delete that, my bad. Maybe we should just stick to what we're doing with this at the side. Or maybe I should stop worrying about using a little bit more with space and just being happy about what I can get. Sure. Let's try and just be happy and do stuff. That will last exactly 1 minute or something like that. Okay. So we need an input and an output for each of these. We did that to the right of everything before. That's not right. That's more right, but I'm not sure that will work here. Yes, it should. Okay. Have the output far low and the input close. So that's better. Good. And all of this can go as close as possible here. And then this needs to be 1 tile wider, of course. And let's just try to keep it as close to the other setup as possible. Actually, this might just help because we need to get the crystal slurry in here anyway, and that can just run along the side here. That seems like a... It makes my life easier, I guess. Then I don't have as much trouble doing this. But this could just have been in here, so it doesn't really help at all. Never mind. And we need 4 more of these. Are we good with all of this so far? I think so. We should do the outputs properly though. So inputs go in there, outputs come out here. Eh, did my mirroring of that not work? Oh, because it's not supposed to be mirrored, it's just supposed to be rotated. Input, output. So this should be right, I think. And we should just be able to copy paste this. And this needs to go in there, so either we need to move these apart one tile further, which we could easily do, or we just need to move these in one tile. Also, why are these all the way in here? Why not move them out one tile? And then one tile further if we move this out further. I think we will just move this apart one tile further. But yeah, let's fix everything else up first. But unfortunately, that's all we have time for in this episode, so thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.